Hey, it's Alex, and thanks for watching Next Up. So I'm really excited about our next artists. These guys are called the Shadowboxers. How about you guys introduce yourselves to our listeners?
Hey, everybody. We're the Shadowboxers. I'm Adam. That's Matt. That's Scott.
So we were just talking, and you guys already, like, you're really fun. Like, I feel like you just are really, like, I mean, we just had a full conversation about Dave & Buster's for, like, 15 minutes, and I don't even know why. So I feel like you guys are probably a good time at Dave & Buster's. Let's talk about it. Do you win prizes?
I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
We're gonna jump in because you know what? We're just gonna put the music aside for a little bit.
Great.
We gotta talk about the really important things.
Yeah, no.
Dave & Buster's.
We know how to have a great time at Dave & Buster's.
I feel like a lot of bands are too cool to be fun, and we're too fun to be cool.
You know what? You'd rather
I'm
be too fun
unpacking
to
that,
be
but I
cool.
think you're right.
I think that works.
You know what? I think that's better.
Yeah.
Now, did you guys in college, because I know that's where you met, hang out at Dave & Buster's and places like that? Is this how you met?
Is the whole interview going to be...
say how much I love the way this is starting.
Yeah, me too. This is really good. No, but seriously, how did you guys meet?
The first time
At a Dave & Buster's.
I was a manager at a Dave & Buster's.
Floor manager.
Yeah.
The first time we went to a Dave & Buster's was like 5 years after we met.
Yeah.
Okay.
How's that for a segue of how do we meet?
Yeah, cool. So, like, let's back it up 5 years now. How did you guys meet?
5 years before the Dave & Buster's event.
We were living in Atlanta.
Okay.
We went to college together. All completely randomly went to Emory.
That was a strong lean you had. I think you should hit it again.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was nice. There you go.
It felt natural. I don't know why it changed.
Yeah. No, it's good.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
you pivoted too
Do you know
early.
the difference between this and this is?
What?
Everything.
This is like much more of a power stance.
Yeah.
You're answering a question right now.
This interview is already off the rails. It's been 2
I'm talking
minutes.
about how we met.
Is this how girls do skinny arm, by the way?
No. It's different. It's like
It's like this.
Yeah.
I feel like it's that.
That's
Guys,
skinny
what
arm?
is happening?
Sorry.
Okay, we met. We went to Emory together. It's not a music school by any means, but we were all musicians in high school. We found each other and instantly connected on our tastes and abilities, and we started singing each other's songs. And those were the first Shadowboxer songs.
Were you guys like on the same floor or something, or were you just like all like jamming out?
No, Adam and I met like in orientation, and Scott and I were in a class together the first semester.
No
But
way.
it was like it was 2007. You could have like the shared iTunes libraries. You know, like
I remember that.
like
yeah.
if you're on the same network.
Yeah.
So Matt was
Stalked him.
creeping around, I guess,
Wow.
and found my iTunes library
And you were impressed?
and saw that I, had just impeccable music taste.
My God.
Impeccable.
Yeah.
And also had recordings of his own.
Right.
So, and I was like searching for
But for
other musicians at college. So I was like, I think I like Facebook messaged you.
Yeah, you
after
did.
that.
And we went on a
That's
bro
like-
date.
And we went on a bro date.
Yeah.
Nice.
two.
We saw.
We saw-
Don't say
Don't
it.
do it.
I know exactly what we saw.
I
We
don't
saw
think I-
Across the
we s-
universe.
with Ross Pally.
This is
Bad.
very
It's bad.
sweet. This is
Yeah.
a sweet moment.
Yeah.
That's a
I
bad
like
one
this.
to see, guys.
Yeah.
Good movie, though.
Yeah, I like it.
And then how did you get in the mix? They were just like, so you guys came together first, and then they
Matt
were just
introduced us. So Matt and Adam were friends. Then Matt and I had a music theory class together. And after classes, we would go into like rehearsal rooms and play piano. And
Scott approached me one day because I was wearing a Steely Dan shirt.
Nice.
this keeps getting cooler and cooler.
Yeah.
I told you.
You know
Up
what?
front.
to be
Steely
cool.
Dan
I
is
told you.
currently like I'm pretty sure on my summer playlist right now. So
Yeah.
props.
Good.
Yeah. So you know what's crazy? Like it's so often here we are doing this interview for Next Up New Artists, but you guys have been doing this grind for 11 years. And
Yeah.
I feel like so often that's something like just being in radio and the music industry and talking to so many artists, that's so often the case. So people are like, "Oh, well, check out this new artist," and you're like, "We don't feel new because we've been together for so long." And it's like you guys have had such an incredible like career path so long. I mean, like you're touring with Justin Timberlake right now.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like that's so wild.
We have had the most bizarre career path, and I think
Want to
it's
hit a couple bullet points?
well.
on it?
I
please
just want to say first that I think in a lot of ways we actually do feel like a new band right now because like we've evolved so much over the years that our previous music, could have been under a totally different band name. Like the music that we released a couple weeks ago, it really feels like our first release to us.
Truth.
So like it's cool to us to be described as a new band. Like that feels good to us. But I'm gonna hit you with some bullet points.
Please do.
We started as a college band playing frat parties. Strictly. I'm kidding.
Strictly frat
Yeah.
parties.
And fundraisers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right out of college, we went on tour opening for the Indigo Girls, who Scott randomly met. And then a year into that, we became their backing band.
No way.
So we would open and then be their backing band. And then into that, we did a co-headline tour with Joan Baez.
Okay.
And then we put out a cover of Justin Timberlake's Push Your Love Girl, which
yep.
he saw and reached out and produced our EP that we just released, and now we're on tour with him.
So I saw your face, and what I want to do is explain kind of that evolution that we've been taking.
Told you it was
Yeah.
bizarre.
At the beginning of this band, and still to this day, we've just focused on a different sound, but when we started, we were just as much of like a folk singing harmony band as we were like a funk R&B
Really?
group.
Yeah.
We are music fans. We're lucky that when we put our voices together, we're able to kind of do a lot of different things and kind of bleed into a lot of different genres. And we love so much that we wanted to do everything. And when we were playing with the Indigo Girls and when we were playing with Joan Baez, it felt like some kind of young CSN type band that was on tour with them. And it worked. You know, people were skeptical because of the way we look and the way they look and their fans and everything. But it sort of, what it taught us is how to win over an audience that's not there for you. And it taught us that a lot of the genre sort of line demarcations that people make can be broken in a live setting when it just comes down to it. You know, the music that we were making, and we were singing 5-part harmony every night, and the way that it worked, like if the Indigo Girls and the Shadowboxers can put a show on together and it works, then like a lot of the structures that people create around songs and genres, you know, are just sort of for categorical purposes and not for music purposes at all.
Well, that's just the thing. And I feel like right now with music, we're seeing those lines are blurred so much more. And I love that. I appreciate that. But I mean, it's so cool because it's like you're now also, because of that, you're getting a lot of new sounds, and there's a lot of artists that are really just experimenting more and having more freedom to like not just stick to one thing, right?
For a long time, this was a vice of ours, and now I feel like we've figured out, because not only do we have a lot of interests, but this is 3 singers and 3 writers.
Yep.
So it was figuring out, you know, okay, well, we know we sound really good together. How does that translate in a pop sense? And how do we still at the same time get all of our personalities across? And so now we put out this EP, and we finally figured out how to condense these 3 voices into a cohesive sound that still sort of has a lot of variety. Like the songs you just played today, like one was sort of a emotional, like anthem-y pop tune, and the other has Adam rapping.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they work for us.
Yeah. So when you were signed to Justin's label, which, you know, congrats on that, because that's really awesome.
Thanks.
Like what type of guidance, or like, because again, like you guys had been doing this already, and like, did you kind of enter, you know, this new situation with Justin where he like gave you some really great like nuggets of advice where you're like, ooh, wish I knew that like 3 years ago or something like that?
Oh yeah.
The funny thing is like, since we've been singing and playing together, like we've always known that we have ability. We've always known that when we sing together and when we play together, it sounds good. We've always gotten good responses from audiences we played for, from the first open mic at Eddie's Attic in Atlanta we ever did. And we've always said, you know, we'll let this thing go as high as it will go. You know, we're not going to compromise the music. We're going to continue the process. Like the nucleus of this band, being the 3 of us, will always be like this. And we want to be the 3 making the decisions. And making sure that our output is the way we want it to be. But if it takes off, because there is something very commercial about it, even from the beginning, if it takes off, we'll let it go as high as it goes. And when Justin came into the picture, it like validated that thought that we had and bolstered it even further to say like, okay, if he sees something in us, then he thinks that it really could exist at the top, at the top tier, on his level or somewhere close, which we had dreamt of but hadn't really brought into a tangible like fruition. So what it did for us is a long answer, but what it did for us is just gave us a lot of confidence. It just it validated what we do. It made us go harder for the things that we felt we maybe couldn't pull off because we were 3 kids living in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then it was like, nah, Justin liked what we do just like in our living room. That's like the video Push Your Love Girl that he found and the videos that he found after that were all videos that we did at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday after we got groceries and just were sitting in our living room. That's kind of the rawness and organic kind of quality of these videos. So it encouraged us to push into a bolder and more confident place that maybe we wouldn't have because we thought we weren't worthy.
Yeah.
But we are.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you're on tour with him now. When you guys aren't performing and you are, on the bus or wherever, what do you do to occupy your time?
We watch a lot of movies. And
mostly bad
action movies that are great.
Okay, give me an example.
God.
Under Siege.
That's
that's
so
actually
good.
a good one though.
Steven Seagal.
Steven
A lot of 80s and 90s action movies give us
Yeah.
tons of enjoyment.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Steven Seagal. Those movies are bad.
They are, but Under Siege is good.
Okay.
It's
We
good.
love.
Under Siege 2 is not good. Under Siege.
We like
Dark Territory.
Yeah.
we like sort of after a show we like to watch a movie that requires no thought
Yes.
and is just fun for the whole family.
Yep.
I just want to say.
Steven Seagal.
Again,
First of all, he's
Steven Seagal.
Okay,
I mean, we can watch one of those. First of all, they're like in the 80s and 90s, like with Stallone and Van Damme and those guys. They were making hour-and-a-half long movies.
Yeah, just
Get me in and get me out.
Easy.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now it's like two
And
and a
like-
half
I'm not
hours
trying
of
to
my
watch-
life.
with a Van Damme movie too. He's never been a good actor, so you don't expect something better than what you know what you're getting into, and it's the same every time. And it's thoroughly enjoyable.
Yeah, we love it.
We recently are going through the Mission Impossible.
I've
movies?
never seen the Mission Impossible movies.
All right, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. I know.
I just want to say that I thought they were all good, and Mission Impossible 2
I
is
thought
not
you were
good.
about to be like, I just want to say this has been nice, but we have to go.
Thanks
I
for
have to-
interviewing us,
I,
but you've lost all credibility.
Yeah, I made a tweet that I want to go back and delete or just apologize for. That I was like, how come people don't talk about how solid the entire Mission Impossible franchise is?
Wow, so
Mission
now I gotta
Impossible
do it.
2, not
It's a
good.
bad movie. It's a long Herbal Essences commercial. That's what it is.
No.
Yeah, it's just a lot of
You got really?
There's white doves flying in slow motion. It's bad.
So
Sorry.
yeah, that's one way that we occupy our time.
Sometimes we write music.
Nah.
But
Sometimes,
usually not.
but not always.
We pay
Not-
people
no,
to do
but-
that.
Yeah.
Have you this is so random, but bad movies, and I know they just did a movie on it, but The Room is probably.
Oh.
I mean, I know.
Have you seen it?
Yes, I saw it in college, and I don't
Did you
think
see it right? Like, did you go to
Yes.
a theater that
Spoons
No,
and
I
everything?
didn't. No, I didn't go to a theater. It was just at my friend's house, and it was a bunch of us. But I've never laughed that hard in my entire life.
See, how fun was that?
It was so fun. See, that's the thing. It's
That's what we're going
mindless,
for.
just laughing, and you're like, "There's nothing happening here."
Yeah, it's
just
so
a
bad.
lot-
It's brilliant.
It really is.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was so random, but I was just like, "Oh, bad movies. Maybe you have." Well, guys, I'm very happy you came in today because
Oh,
you guys are
thank you.
super cool, very down to earth,
We're super fun.
super fun, but also because you're super fun, you're super cool.
All right, we'll
just,
take it.
Thanks, we'll take it.
Wear that. It's cool.
Thank
just
you.
pin that on your jacket. So, what else is the EP's out?
Yeah.
Before you go, is there anything else you want to tell our listeners and your fans?
The EP's out, and there's plenty of music coming as well later this year.
Yes. Oh, and obviously when Justin comes to the forum, you guys will be there too.
See us there, April 29th,
2 nights at the Forum, and then we're doing a night
8th and 9th, 28th and 9th. Yeah.
And then
And
also in
then
Anaheim, right?
the Peppermint Club or
Oh,
Peppermint
nice.
Club.
the Sunday after
Talk
the
about that.
30th?
30th.
April 30th.
April 30th.
Nice.
Peppermint.
Okay.
Yeah, just like a side little
Come
club
see
show.
us live. That's what we want to say.
Yeah, we did like a EP release in New York, and now
Cool.
we'll do another EP release in LA.
Plug all your stuff. What are your Instagrams?
At the Shadowboxers on everything.
Awesome.
Instagram,
Super
Facebook,
easy.
Twitter. We're keeping
Thank
it
you for
easy.
not having like 3 different handles
Yeah.
for
No,
your
no.
3 different platforms.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Check out the Apollo EP.
Yeah.
Amazing. Guys, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was Next Up. Looked at the wrong camera.
That was nice.
We're back.